Rachel Corrie from Olympia, Washington, was run over and killed by an Israeli army bulldozer operator in the Gaza Strip. She and two other members of a group called the International Solidarity Movement, wearing fluorescent vests and clearly identified, were with megaphones, trying to halt the demolition of a Palestinian pharmacist's home, a family home in the Gaza Strip. And at one point, apparently the bulldozer operator just moved forward. This was a Caterpillar, I think DC-9 bulldozer, which when Israel gets them, they then weaponize them. So this bulldozer has on the front of it a kind of a blade. She was knocked down, it went over her, he paused, and then he backed up. She was alive briefly after that, and the others who were with her were screaming, of course, for help. It took a while before she was taken to a local Palestinian hospital. There's been a court case which has actually gone to the Supreme Court in Israel, and her mother and father, Cindy and Craig Corrie, have been over there several times. And of course, Israel doesn't in any way accept responsibility for what happens and simply says that she was in a closed military zone and nobody should have been there and they put themselves at risk and et cetera, et cetera. This happened actually in the days just leading up to the U.S. invasion of Iraq. And as I was just saying a few minutes ago in a smaller conversation, around that time, afterwards, there were several other internationals who were killed or severely wounded by the Israelis, and my impression was that there was a feeling that the eyes of the world were mainly on what the U.S. and its allies were doing in Iraq, and therefore it was kind of open season in some other places. Kind of the impression I'm getting today, again, with the almost uninterrupted focus on Ukraine. In any case, this was 19 years ago. The remarkable thing about her family is you might have expected they would have been completely shattered and left just perhaps falling apart. Her parents, they were liberals, but they weren't people who had been particularly concerned about or informed about what was going on involving Israel and the Palestinians. They made it their business to find out, and basically they decided to carry on her work. And so they managed to found the Rachel Corrie Foundation